Okay, team. Hey, we are solving equations, and I have a few steps here. Solving equations, we want to do what's called isolate the variable by using inverse operations. Now, first of all, let's point this out. Every equation has an equal sign. An equal sign marks the middle of an equation. That's really important. If it doesn't have an equal sign, then it's not an equation. It's what's called an expression. That's a little bit different. Okay. Now, often I look at an equation like this, and sometimes I don't even really need to do anything. I can actually just look at it, do some mental math, and to figure out what it is. Like in this case, maybe you can do the same thing. I can tell that, something minus 10 has to give me 12. That's what this says. Something, whatever x is, minus 10 gives me 12. Now, I can tell that, x must be 22 then. It must be 22 because 22 minus 10 equals 12. X must be 22. But let's pretend we didn't know that. We want to figure out what x is. So isolate is a fancy word for get the variable by itself. I want to get the variable by itself using what's called inverse operations, which is fancy word for opposite. Now, the main inverses we use are addition and subtraction. So I'm going to say add and subtract. And then we also use multiplication and division. So those are our main inverse operations. Now, looking here, this is a subtraction problem. We are subtracting from the variable. The opposite of that is addition. So let's go ahead and use addition. Now, at this point, though, I need to make sure to be careful because whatever I do to one side of an equation, I have to do the other. You have to do that because you have to keep both sides of the equation the same. You have to do that. So let's go ahead and use that inverse. So let's go ahead and add 10 to both sides. Add 10. What I do to one side, I have to do the other. Now, the beauty of that is we get a cancellation. Minus 10 and positive 10, those add to 0. They just go away. And the only reason I'm allowed to do that is because I also did that on this side. What you do to one side, you have to do the other side. That leaves me with x right here. I'm left with just x on the right side. On the left side, 12 plus 10 is 22. And there is my answer. Now, I can check my work real quick by taking my answer and plugging it back into my original equation, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to say 12 equals x is 22 minus 10. 22 minus 10 is 12, and 12 is equal to 12. So there's a little check. Alrighty. Okay, now if you have a addition problem, like this example here, then I want to use the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So let's go ahead and divide this equation up at the equal sign so I can keep track of the middle of my equation. The opposite of addition is subtraction, so let's go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides. Minus 4, minus 4. On the right side of my equation, I have a cancellation, which is what I like to see, and I'm left with just the variable that I'm bringing down and keeping. On the left side, 8 minus 4 is 4. There's my answer. Now a quick check. I think that y is 4. That's my answer. Is 4 plus 4, is that equal to 8? Is that true? And yes, it is true, so I know I'm good. Okay. Next video, we'll do inverses, multiplication, and division that look like this.